Jill DeWitt with Jack Butala here.
Good afternoon, everyone.
You know, it's funny when I start to say that, I want to say Jack Butala with Jill DeWitt
That's
here.
exactly what I want to say.
So I'm just used to hearing it that way.
Welcome to the Thursday call.
Yay. Welcome back since we weren't here last Thursday. Hope everybody had a great break and sounds like Jack has some good stuff to share with us today.
Yeah, today's theme is their crazy success that people are reporting. Our members are reporting to us in all different venues. It's truly amazing. I'll tell some stories about it later.
Oh, cool.
Show some pictures, tell some stories.
I see Luke Smith is back in town, I think, at least on this side of the world. I'm thinking so. Cool.
Hey, I wonder if you guys can hear us at all.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we're just talking to ourselves.
That could be. That happens sometimes. At least nobody's typing in. Do you have audio? I don't have audio. Oh, good. Thank you, Mark.
Good.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Love it. All right, so we're gonna jump into our questions. We'll pause around the middle, so right around 3:30, and cover some important items, and then we'll get back to the Q&A. So glad everyone is here. So, all right. So Farron asks, oh, nice. Just had a mailer hit last week, and we were wading through the predictable seller responses. Disgust, curiosity, show me the money. All good. I love it. Then we get an email from a lawyer property owner that said, I accept your offer. We did our research and saw that the parcel lacked access, so we explained that we'd have to pass. He said, you offered, I accepted, let's move forward. Yeah, no. We went back to the J&J. We all know that there's 6 things on there that we can say. We went back to the J&J offer letter template and saw no weasel words about us passing on a property due to lack of access.
No weasel words?
There should be on our template on there. Should we add some language like that to offer? I think because that is on our template as access.
You need one sentence in there that says, if we reserve the right. Don't quote me on this. We reserve the right to back out of this transaction for any reason.
I was just looking at our template right now myself the other day, and I saw that's one that there's like 3 things that we want to verify, or no, actually more than like 5 things or something, and they're pretty open.
But before we get real concerned about that, let's just maybe it's an okay deal.
Good point too.
Here's the problem. If you say we offer $5,000 for your property, and it is a great property, but it's got a $5 million mortgage on it, that's a big problem. So
yeah,
you got to have one sentence in there that says this offer is subject to our due diligence,
right?
And it's effective up to the day of close,
and
anticipated day of close,
including taxes.
It's just for any reason subject to our due diligence.
Exactly. All right.
Maybe we don't like the seller anymore. That's happened to me.
That could be.
Maybe we changed our mind about the attitude of the seller.
Okay, and here's my thing too. You know what's really weird? I have so many red flags. Any person that's trying to sell a property that bad scares me, right?
Any lawyering type.
Forcing me to buy it? No, now I'm out. I'm out just because you're forcing me. Forget it.
Exactly.
It could be beautiful.
Nobody wants to be forced to do anything.
No. Especially, I could think of a lot of things. Just kidding.
Like someone's pregnant, you have to marry them.
No, Jack. Jack, why you go there? Oh my gosh. Okay, I love it. Okay, so Peter asks, do infill lot offers work in strong markets? Ooh.
Heck yes.
Like Atlanta or Dallas. If using a realtor to market infill lots, should I build into the contract that I can still market it?
If the realtor lets you do that, it's not typical that a realtor, it's called an exclusive agreement or non-exclusive. And it's not typical at all that a realtor will allow you they'll do a listing with you on a non-exclusive basis. So usually they want to get paid, rightfully so, even if you do bring the buyer. They don't want to spend a bunch of money on marketing and all that.
They'll probably let you market it with them, but they get their commission anyway, is what they'll say.
Yeah.
So,
and I can actually understand that. If they're actually going to do their job correctly and spend money on marketing and all that, they want to get paid.
And that's fair.
The bigger point to this is that Atlanta and Dallas are fantastic places to do infill lot marketing. Infill lot purchasing, like we do.
Oh, gosh, yes. I love it. Jason asks, I downloaded some data from RealQuest Pro, and none of the rows had entries for mailing, address, city, zip, etc. Fortunately, I'm able to delegate someone to look up the info with the county, Or for the future, is there any way I can find out where the addresses will be emitted before downloading the data?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, absolutely, you can find that out. It's all there's a tremendous amount of stuff that you can do in RealQuest Pro without ever spending 1 cent.
Yeah. You should have been able, you know what, Jason, when you're doing the poll, you should have been able to eyeball that.
Yeah.
Because it gives you a list, it gives you the beginning of the data. Because I just went through this recently, and I'll tell you why in a few minutes. So I was just recently practicing downloading some data and working on a mail merge, and you could, like I said, you could see if there's a bunch of things omitted. So I wonder, was something left out in the
Well, here's
search?
in my experience with data, the reason that there's no address, a mailing address, is it says something like this: U.S. federal government, or Bureau of Land Management, or U.S.
That could
Postal
be.
Service, or city of whatever. It's usually not anyone you're ever going to send a letter to anyway. So, it's usually not a typical mom and pop individual ownership scenario. So those should have been scrubbed out if you've followed Chapter 5. Scrub that data out long before it gets to the point where you download it. So if you watch Chapter
Right.
5 really closely, um, I'll tell you what the deal is here. If the assessor, this is Real Pro is quite simply a reflection in the mirror of assessor data. And there's no way that the assessor is going to get paid the property taxes that it wants and it's
It's
motivated
true.
to collect if they don't know where to send the bill.
It's
So
true.
and
There's
they don't send a
matters.
bill to the U.S. federal government. They don't care, but they really do care about Jill DeWitt. So, and they want to make sure they have her address because
Heck
she knows she's
yeah.
going to pay.
I will pay.
So you have to be real careful through that process.
Exactly. All right. Meenam asks, excuse me, is it okay to have someone abroad do a data trace search for $30 instead of using the other tools that would not be sufficient? I heard First American uses this tool. Are you trying to, for phone number? The only time I've ever heard people try to do stuff like that, it's like a phone number, but I won't call anybody. I'm just sending them an offer. I'm
Hey,
not sure
let us know what you
what you're
mean. Like
trying to, um,
abroad, like, are you trying to find overseas people who own real property? If
yeah,
that's what you mean, I would not even approach that. I would not get involved in that at all.
yeah, yeah. Just you don't. It's some of that stuff is a waste of time and a waste of money.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the whole the I mean, when there's people in this group right now, and there's people in landinvestors.com that have said, okay, I'm going to go, before they found us is really what was going on. They're like, I would go to the county, I'd download the data, or I'd get it however from the county, came in a disc. I send it to my VA. I wait 6 weeks. I spend $400, and then I still not sure it's right what I want, and that's what, you don't want to do that.
Right.
Is there an option agreement in the CFFL documents? Yes, Peter. When you go on the page, scroll way down to the bottom after all the programs, and there's all kinds of data things in there. And I was looking at that the other day too. We have a new employee, and I'll introduce in a minute here. So I was looking at all this stuff, but there's all kinds of docs there, photos, recorded deeds from all over the country, our options agreement, purchase agreements, all that stuff's in there. Anything you want to add?
Nope.
I'm
There's a
sorry.
ton of stuff in there.
Here I go. All right. So Farron asks, this is a very good question. Do easements have to be recorded or can they be assumed?
They have to be recorded.
Yeah. We have a potential acquisition who has a notarized easement from an older family member now deceased. Call to the recorder and our attorney gets us two different
Yeah.
answers. Call the recorder and then our attorney get two different answers.
Wait, let me guess. The attorney says it's valid, and the assessor says no.
That's what I'm gonna say. Um, one
Yeah.
one hand, our attorney says it's good to go. Yep. But the lady in the county says, "Oh, no can do." She says it was never formally recorded with the parcel's deed. Yikes. How to proceed? Because if we jump up and buy now, we'll surely be scoring off against that county recorder,
Yeah.
and we'll likely end up with attorney's fees chasing around dead relatives.
So if you still have the document, you can just record it, and it's
Yeah.
valid. That's the first way. Just so you know, what the lawyer is referring to is if somebody signs a deed. If I sign a deed
Mhm.
over to Jill, and I never record it, I
I
stuff it in my
stick it in
safe.
safe. Yeah.
She owns the property. Is it ever enforced? No. So that's what the lawyer's getting at.
Yeah,
Lawyers are packed full of stuff like that.
it's
Like
true.
they want to argue the point instead of actually just getting stuff done.
But you know what? You're right. I mean, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go
So
ahead.
if the older family
Yeah.
member, she's now deceased, I mean, whoever owns the property, just there's got to be an easy way to do it.
Mhm.
Or maybe it's not easy, but it might be time consuming, but you have to ask yourself if it's worth it.
Because you know what? Hold on a moment. It was a notarized easement back when this person was alive.
So
That's legit.
just record it.
Yeah. That's like Jack said. I mean, seriously, Jack could deed me anything. We throw it in the safe, and anything, heaven forbid, happens, I can whip it out, and it really is mine. And now I decide to record it. It
Right.
could be years later. It doesn't matter. And it's been mine all along, technically. So there you go. Okay.
We have a lot of people on the call
It's a
today.
super good question. Yeah. All right. Brett says, a while back you meant, oh, just talking about this today, Brett. Thank you for bringing it up. A while back you mentioned doing a live event in the fall/winter. Is that still on, or is it on hold with all the new product launches? Looking for excuse for a tax deductible trip somewhere warm this winter. Well, there's a good reason right there. Jack?
This is the sound of me being quiet
Jack!
on this topic.
Jack!
I'm not the decider on this, Jill.
I know.
Tell me where to stand. I'll stand there and entertain everyone
I know.
and inform everyone.
I know. Brett, I'm going to have to get back to you on that one. I know we were talking about November. That's what we were looking at. And I started down that path. And then Jack took me off that path. And
here's the truth. Here's the truth of it. We're launching offers to owners next week. After that, we're launching Escrow Perfect because of everybody. I ran that poll 3 weeks ago on this call and I getting inundated with people asking us to close their deals. And then after that, land crowdfund. We have the top performing members are reaching out to me in our membership group, begging me to bring the new people who are finding deals, bring them together with the guys who have been with us since the beginning, who have more money than they know what to do with, and they want to begin to scale their operations so that they're actually effectively partnership-based lenders. And then on the other side, the people who are new, who don't have a bunch of dough yet, are dying to partnership with. So my point is, I guess the next poll would be, would you rather have a live event or some incredibly useful tools? Or maybe you can just go see Jill and I'll sit and do all this work.
You're so silly. Carrie said that you said March, and I'm good with that one. Can we do March?
Oh, yeah, sure.
You know what, you guys? I'm going to send
Don't
out
ask me.
I'm going to have Jen's on this call. Jen doesn't know this yet, but I'm going to ask Jen to do a survey for me and send that out. So,
Good.
All right, we're going to figure this out. All right, I hear you loud and clear. Thank you, Brett. Meenam again asks, I know this is probably, I think if this is a person I'm thinking, give him a little hi in the chat to me, but I think we were emailing earlier today. I know this is probably a preschool question, but does it matter if our mailers are done with single window versus double window envelope? I don't think it matters.
I don't think it matters.
No.
But you're not going to have, with offers to owners, and it's the single cheapest way to go, you're not going to have a choice with that. I would highly recommend single.
Mm-hmm. Let's make it easy. Okay.
Thank you for asking about, is this a silly question? Because there are such things as stupid questions. All your teachers your whole life, they say, there's no such thing as a stupid question. Sure there is.
Yeah, they lied.
Tremendous number of stupid questions.
You know what? The only time that I think a question is really stupid is when someone doesn't take just a moment to pause, think, and maybe try to do some research. This is different. So yeah, I'm not calling anybody out here, but I'm just saying children, for example. I mean, there's times I want to go, are you really asking? I do say that, actually. I do say, are you really asking me that? And they look and go, oh, it's right there. Mm-hmm. So
here's an example of a stupid question that a child would ask.
Oh, no. I want to know.
What are we having for dinner?
Right. When I'm standing over the whatever stove.
But does it matter? Because they're going to eat it.
Good point. I want a stupid Jack question.
This is fun.
This by the end of this, we're going to come up with some really good.
Here's a stupid question. What's the weather going to be today?
Okay.
It's just going to be what it is, right?
Yes. I think what would be even more fun is, I'm going to pause for just a second. Remember when we first started this call years ago, you guys? We can actually say years ago we started this call. But we used to have the stupid stuff Jack says, and then we had Jack's Detroit
You know what we had for a
things.
while we should bring back
It
is the title of
was
this. So at the end of the
oh yeah, we'd come up with a funny title.
yeah, we would let people who are listening
Vote and
at
come
the
up with a
end.
title.
Yeah, let's do that right now.
That would be good. All right.
At the end of this call, please type in what you think the title should be.
The title of the show. And so this
Like
would be
it could
fun.
be for this one, it could be, yeah, there is such thing as
This is
stupid questions.
questions.
or Jill can't decide if she's going to have a live event.com.
All right. Makeupyourmind.com.
Or maybe here's the name of the show. Jack, of all the people who ask stupid questions, Jack and
It's
Jill
you.
are at the top of the line.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so good. Okay.
You guys think you're funny, but you're not.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that could be the title of the show. We're not laughing.
Stop screwing around.
Jack and Jill are laughing and we're not.
Stop horsing around and just give us the data.
Exactly. Shut up and
Or
get to the
stop being
point.
so serious and let's horse around.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly. Thank you. Oh, good. Thank you, Kyria. I'm glad you appreciate that. All right. So Peter says, if I'm that started to go car talk right there.
Yeah.
We're not really going to answer the question. We're just going to have fun. No. If I'm buying in Arizona counties with the idea of splitting 5 ways, can I do 10 acres into 5 twos, or do I need to go bigger to make it worthwhile? Will buyers of smaller residential lots be expecting water on site more than on larger parcels?
This is an extremely good, the opposite spectrum of a stupid question is this question. This is an extremely good question. Here's the deal. So if you're going to split down to whatever, in your case here, 2 acres, there's a few criteria. Number one, it has to be zoned for that. So you can't split down below what it's already zoned for. You can't split down and then do a zoning variance. That's no big deal. 9 times out of 10, that's no problem. But here's another deal. You have to be able to rewrite the description if you don't want to do a survey, which means that's a fancy way of saying the property has to be rectangle or square. So you can, northeast quarter to the southeast quarter, southwest quarter to the northeast quarter, and so on. So going from 10 to 2 is nearly impossible. You're going to have to go from 10 to 5 to 2.5, probably 4 properties instead of 5. All right, that's simple enough. Please, I'm urging you, because certain counties will just, it's not that they can't do it legally. They just don't want to do it. They don't like doing it. So make sure that you contact planning and zoning and stuff and really more than one time contact them and make sure you can do it.
Cool.
The bigger, the better.
Yeah.
The bigger is always better.
I might do like 4 2.5s.
Or 40. I mean, a 40 is a great example. So 40, 10, 5, 5, 2.5, 2.5. Or that's what?
2.5s are nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, good question. Brandon asked, oh, good. Brandon's been having fun with your Redfin. I've been finding clusters on Redfin and have noticed an area that I think would be good. The lots are selling for $15,000 to $40,000. The numbers are all over the place. How do I know what offer to send? I also have all the recent sales data for the area. But Brandon, digging in and doing this. This is awesome.
Yeah.
I also have all the sales data, but again, the numbers are all over, and each subdivision pricing is different. How much of an offer should I make on lots like this? How would you do it?
So what I would do is get real deep into the thing, and I would get all this stuff into a spreadsheet off of RealQuest. And each subdivision is going to have a very specific APN scheme. For instance, one sub, and they might be adjacent to each other. One subdivision might be 101-54, and then the next 4 digits are 445, 446, and so on. That's going to be one pricing scenario. The adjacent subdivision might be, 101-66, and then so on and so on and so on. So this is a long-winded way of saying you have to micro price, these little clusters that are these Redfin clusters. I know it takes a lot of work, and it's probably going to take you a week's time if you're doing it the first time to really price it properly. But I'm telling you, at 15 to 40K, now you're making $10,000 a lot. And because they're infill lots and they're really urban in nature, my experience is that they sell a lot faster for a lot more money. And you're usually going to sell them to somebody who's going to build on it. So now they want more properties from you. So it's worth the effort.
Sounds
After your
like
second or third one, you're going to be able to kill it.
so it sounds like Brandon's the kind of guy that can understand and do that
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
So you're asking those questions, Brandon. You can do that. That's cool. All right. Hey, Meenam. So yes, we were talking today. Do you guys normally, I like this. Do you normally call back people that just listen to your auto attendant and just hang up? I'm curious if they think it's a scam or just scared to talk to someone. My experience is they're afraid to talk to someone. And do I
Me
call
too.
them back? If I had the time,
Me too, Joe.
honestly, if I was new and getting started and going this and I had hang up calls and I had the number there, I would absolutely call them back. And I would say the version of this, like, hi, I'm just returning a call. I saw I had a missed call this afternoon. I think I sent an offer to buy your property, and then let
Yep.
them start talking. It's probably a little old lady and
Yep.
she didn't want to leave a message. Those fancy machine things just confuse her, kind of thing, because that's really how it goes. And let them talk, and then yeah, I think that's a good question.
I wrote a blog a long time ago about how to maximize a mailer. And the first thing is, number one, answer your phone or make sure somebody actually answers it. And I think that's what this person's alluding to. You have to make sure that you're going to get a much higher percentage if you hire somebody to answer your phone. If you don't, you should really call those. We have thousands and thousands, a database of thousands of just hang up numbers over the years because we haven't started using a call service
until now. Now I have all those.
Yeah, I mean, there's a gap. We had somebody answer the phone for years and years, then we didn't for a while. Now we do again.
Yeah. Todd asks, I had a 75-acre tract that an attorney has a partial ownership of. Call me to discuss it. That's funny. Turns out he only represents, oh my gosh, 2.7% ownership, but that's still enough. But there are 7 other owners on record. I did some research, but then one of the other owners called me. Feels like not a lot of people agree to the sale price I want. Any tips on how to streamline the process when there are multiple owners, or you just pass?
Just pass.
I'd pass.
Here's the thing about lawyers too. They'll call you back and they'll write you back, especially if they're representing an estate or some kind of other legal entity, because they get the bill for it. So a lawyer can call you back and talk to you for a couple hours and bill somebody $215 an hour for it. So that happens a lot. And I made that mistake really early on, especially in commercial real estate. They'll talk to you for 8 hours long. Ask you what your favorite color is.
Right. And those, Todd, I just don't, I'm not going to waste my time unless I really, you could have 2 siblings, 2 brothers, and they don't agree on the price. I pass. It's a waste of time. I'm not going to call them and talk one into it.
Right.
No way. So, okay. Anonymous attendee asks, I like that. Thanks again for the call today, Jack. Oh, you mom, I know this is agreed to 5 deals since we chatted. This is great. Working on a few more. Just want to make sure I'm doing everything right to lock the deals in and get them rolling. Oh, I see who it is. I'm planning on sending a basic purchase agreement to them with the agreed upon price and then pay them a small deposit to make it official. Then using title for the 5K plus deals and then self-closing on anything under 5K. Thanks, Billy.
This call with Billy no name, Billy no last name, is the inspiration for the title of the call. The success that people are reporting back. This guy, on his first deal with his first mailer, is picking up a property that I think should be sold to McDonald's. It's that
This is the property.
high quality.
Oh,
First
Billy,
deal.
Jack was telling me about this one.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, I mean, he's buying it for $4,000 or $5,000, I think maybe $6,000. And you know what he's doing that I love? And this is his idea and his wife's idea. He and his wife are in the exact same profession. And the person that they're buying it from is in this same profession there. It's in the healthcare profession.
Oh, okay.
So they have a lot of uncommon and a lot to talk about. So I said, look, you do not want to lose this deal no matter what.
Right.
It's in escrow right now. It's going to take like 2 or 3 more weeks. So you know what he does?
What?
He calls in every day or every other day and says, hey, I just want to let you know. And even though nothing's going on with the deal, it's just getting closed.
Yeah.
I just want to let you know we got the title plant back and everything looks good. And we're really looking forward to seeing the property. And
perfect.
how are you doing with XYZ? He's totally jillifying the situation.
Oh.
So even now, if somebody does come in, and it's very unlikely that someone's going to come in, they're so in love with these people
Yeah,
that,
they're done.
yeah,
Their mind's made up. They're
right.
selling to you no matter what.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they
Yep.
make on their first deal make 100 grand. Not going to
Oh,
happen overnight, but it's a smoking deal. I've done deals like
I
this where
love
run to the bank.
this.
That's what I said. Get off the call and run to the bank
Yeah,
because
hurry
we
up,
already, I
go
mean,
get that.
did it. I already had it in escrow, but it's congratulations, man.
That's awesome. Since this is the title of the show, do you have anywhere in the almost to the middle? Do you want to share any more stories, Jack?
We have a ton of questions, so I'll just
Okay.
bring them up as they come.
Okay, cool. Good job. Jessica asks, what are your thoughts on adding something to your letter that says all signed purchase agreements will be decided upon by X date? Just thinking of how to approach the process of looking at all offers before making purchases. Or would you just mention it on the phone for potential sellers? Thanks.
I respectfully think this is a real bad idea, and here's why: because we design these letters in mail merge format, so that the person who's receiving the letter, they honestly think that they're just getting it from you. They don't know that you sent 4,000 letters out to their neighbors.
Right.
They think that you've already done your due diligence, you've signed off on the property, and you love it, and you want to buy it for 3 grand. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that is one of the reasons we get such a high response, both
It's
positive
true.
and negative attitude, related responses.
Uh-huh.
So I would go back to the original first question and just say, put what we have in the letter, some version of it, that
Yeah.
in the event that we find something that we didn't see at the beginning, we're just probably not going to buy it.
There's already a date on the letter that says, hey, the offer is valid until X date. So you already have that date in there to try to elicit some form of sense of urgency. And I don't, yeah, I
Call
like
to
to,
action.
yeah, I wouldn't do that either.
Have you
So,
ever,
but I
Jill?
tell them, you know what, this is a good point though. I'm sorry to interrupt you,
No, go
Jack.
ahead.
So I do tell them though, Jessica, like, hey, you know what? Thank you so much. After you get all the information, here's what I'm going to do. I need a couple days to do my homework. I'm going to call you back by Wednesday. Are you around on Wednesday? Great, thank you. So I'm going to call sometime Wednesday afternoon, and if I want to buy it, and I'll let you know, and then
I
do
mean,
that.
I've never had anybody really, in all the time that I was doing it, call me back and say, "I'm holding you to this date." Like
Yeah,
they're
no,
usually pretty cool about it.
no, yeah, exactly. And I usually only give them a date just so they're not sitting by the phone because they're sitting by the phone waiting for you. And I like to be nice and say, I need a couple days to do my homework here. And they go, oh, okay, we're cool. So Peter asks, can a self-directed Roth IRA be used for land flips? Or is that too active for an IRA or IRA money for land crowdfund when open?
It's my understanding, and please check with your individual people, but it's my understanding that the answer is yes. That it passes the IRA passive IRA income requirements.
Cool. That's the stuff I don't get involved in. So cool. Tom asks, I just had a seller call me after I sent her all the closing docs. She found my website and is trying to
Oh my
renegotiate.
gosh.
This is unusual. Renegotiate the sales price. She countered at 12,000 on initial offer of 5. What do you suggest in
No.
this situation? Mm-mm.
Jillify it. I mean, I wouldn't put up with that for one
Nope.
reason.
Nope. No, that's great.
That's not a good reason to negotiate a property.
No,
She's not the right seller then.
no.
She just changed her mind and she's found a mistake,
Yeah.
found a reason.
Hey, you know what? Well, if you're looking for 12, I'm not your guy. So congratulations. I will buy it for 5 and heck, stuff's on the way. But if you don't want it, just send it back. I'll cancel the notary right now. No problem. And you can go out and market it and try to get 12. And tell you what though, I will do this because I do like it for 5.
Listen to you.
I'm good at I do like it for 5.
She's got all mom heated
I
up.
do. I'm like, just bring it. I don't like this stuff.
I don't like at the end.
No, because
Changing
you
that
know
deal at
what,
the end.
Tom, that you already have 6 other, we all know you have 6 more deals that you'd rather buy or they're waiting, or they're coming. We all know that. So you have all the power and you should never feel backed in a corner. But I do always say, hey, look, here's a deal though. I know you really want 12, so I'll give you 30 days. If you and I'll still I'll honor my 5. So let me know after 30 days, and then we can revisit this, and then watch her wait. She'll probably go, oh no, okay, I'll take the 5. That's usually how it goes. So okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay, yeah. Jack's been teasing me lately because I've been getting a little, what's the word?
Impatient?
Yeah. I mean, this is good stuff. This is how we all should be. We shouldn't be negotiating. We should be machines. Ask Luke Smith, and we should bring him on here in a little bit. And we all have there's a lot of deals. We don't need to waste our time with one and just move on, and it's all good. Hello, Meenam asked about data trace. Oh, data trace, because there are people abroad that can do a title search using data trace. So I was wondering if you could ever outsource the title searching.
Yeah. So in the past, we used a company called Red Vision, which was purchased last year by First American Title. So data trace does nothing more than look at the chain of title, and that's it. So here's an example. Sally owns a property now, and she's thinking about selling it to you. Before Sally, it was her mom. She owned it. Before that, it was somebody else, John, and then Jim, and on and on and on, right back to the homestead. Well, depending on where you are in the country, Title Pro 24/7 will give you that exact same data. It'll do the same thing as data trace, and so will Red Vision. Well, Jill and I right now are in the tail end of a negotiation for um, yet a third to become a licensed provider of yet a third
Supplier data.
supplier of data that will close this gap. It will close there's 100% national coverage for data, and it gives you a whole title plan for a ridiculous number. So in your next question, you ask about Title Mine, and that is the root behind Title Mine. And it's not, I'm telling you what, it's not $100.
Well, Meenam, because I know you're not in our group yet, so you don't know yet exactly what all we have, but most of the stuff we do ourselves. And I can go back in Title Pro 24/7 because we all have access to that. And I can see recorded docs. I can go back 30 years. I mean, the stuff that a normal title agent would do, I can see the docs. Right. I can see the chain of title. I can even see mortgage things. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that's in there, all the forms.
You don't need Title Mine.
I know you're almost there. When you flip that switch and you are in our world and you have access to this, all these questions are going to go away.
That's right.
And I appreciate you asking these. These are good for anybody else who's really listening, because this is the stuff that we have. Why are we not talking about it? Because we all have the access, and we're doing our own title work. Basically, we're doing our own due diligence pretty effectively. So
we're acting as our own title agents.
So we're doing our own homework. I'm not outsourcing to anybody. I do it myself, and it takes me 30 seconds.
The difference is we don't get a title policy at the end.
And if it's more money, then I will go through escrow and have that.
Right.
So there you go. All right. So I'm going to move on here. So Farron asked, just in the beginning stages of launching our first few options properties. Nice. In brainstorming potential problems, however, we're thinking we should really be diligent in upfront homework to avoid hiccups during the double close situation.
Good.
Yeah. Logistical steps in our minds are: 1, call the county for lien back tax questions. Love it.
Okay, 1 second. Number 1, is this person a member?
Yes.
You have access to a full-blown lien report as a Real Class Pro member. But I would call the county too. And what'll end up happening is you'll get, after about 10 calls to the county, they're not going to know. And the lien report in Real Quest Pro is going to tell you everything you want.
I think it's because there's those things that you have a dollar sign next to them. Those are like a la carte things that you get out on. They're really not expensive.
It's way worth it.
2.
Would you pay $2.50 to see if there's a mortgage on the property that you're buying? I would.
Yeah.
I do.
Pull property reports from various resources. Heck, why not?
That's what we just said.
I do free ones. I give everybody a couple free a month right now in Title Pro 24/7. So there's one property report right there.
How many do they get free?
I think
it's like 10, right?
3 a month
so make sure
one's 3 and one's 10. Like I have downloadable documents, and then the other one's 10 for property reports, something. But again, they're a la carte, a couple bucks.
Yeah.
So knock yourself out. You just do the data dollars that they sell. And
so number 3, contact an attorney and, lay out your research to see. That's never a bad idea, but they're going to tell you what we tell you on this free call. When we're talking about this asset type. If we're talking about houses and apartments and stuff, it's obviously a little more complicated. But most of the attorneys I've talked to recently, because of the way technology is growing so quickly, they don't even have access to this stuff.
That's true.
Lawyers have access to a product called LexisNexis, which, I've gone back and forth over the last few years making it a data set for us. And every time I look into it, I decide
It's
not to
lacking
because,
something.
well, just because it just doesn't, all the stuff that we have is much more cutting edge.
Mhm.
So all those are good.
Exactly.
I don't think you're missing anything I don't think you're missing anything.
Mhm. That's good. All right.
Liens are the real, a lien report would be great.
Chuck asks, I took Jack's advice in the free ebook and I posted on Craigslist that I wanted to buy a land. Got a response from someone who has 18 lots in various subdivisions in Hot Springs, Arkansas. Cool. He bought them all at a tax sale. Awesome. He paid $50 per lot plus closing expenses, so about $275 a lot. An issue is that he got a limited warranty deed since there's a break in the chain of title. He states that he has an attorney who can quiet title. I'm liking this so far. I'm following up to get direct to the attorney. His original plan was to market them to builders. He now has personal changes like a baby, building a house, and he wants to sell. I'm new at this and I'm not sure if I should be focusing on a deal like this to start. The properties are assessed between $1,000 and $10,000. Kind of depends on what he wants to sell them for.
So he's got a warranty deed, a limited warranty deed that sounds like it wasn't, he bought them from the, I know all about this. So limited warranty deed doesn't break the chain of title in my opinion. I think the chain of title is this: the state took them back. The guy bought them from the state, the guy that you're talking to, and now you want to buy them from the guy. So in my mind, there's no break in the title. Is it title insurable at that point? Probably not.
And if they want to build on it,
most companies.
they want to build on it. That's important.
Right. So, I mean, you have to answer that question yourself if you want to pursue it. It's a multi-unit deal, so that's good. Assessed value doesn't matter at all about market value.
Exactly.
But I'll tell you what I wouldn't do is turn off the spigot, the acquisition spigot.
Yeah, keep them coming in. That's a good one, Chuck, because you might have 3 that pop in that are run to the bank situations. And you're going to push this down your list and eventually forget about it.
Right. This is a complicated first deal.
Yeah.
All kidding aside.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you what, if I got this in today and I looked at it, I would throw it away.
Yeah.
I would send them a nice note back saying, thanks. This is not
it's
too complicated.
This is a good point. We have so much coming in and so much traffic. I don't waste my time.
Right.
You are 100% right. I wouldn't do it. Minam says,
actually, what I would do is I would say, Jill, please close this deal. And then she would throw it away.
I would throw it away.
And delete it from the database so that I never knew it actually happened tomorrow.
He'd forget all about it. It's so good about Jack.
Hey, whatever happened to that Arkansas deal where there was that guy? What are you talking about?
Didn't you see that? Oh, that was done a long time ago. Oh, okay.
I think Jack, I think you're getting old.
Yeah.
I think you're making stuff. I think you just dreamt about it. You should take the day off. That's what it
There we go. I sent a mailer. Minam said, I sent a mailer to a land banking county area in LA, which I asked Jack about earlier, for $1,000 an acre. Getting a bunch of hate right now for the last 2 weeks. Should I be worried? Lowest comp was around $20,000 if I exclude some of the low ball purchases.
Well, if the lowest comp is $20,000 an acre and you sent it out for $1,000 an acre, I would be a little worried.
You might not get much out of that.
We usually say 40 to 50% of the lowest comp. So, which would be 10,000.
Mm-hmm.
9 or 10.
Oh, he said actually 10,000 an acre. That's what he put down below.
No, I waited out.
Yeah, then cool.
Takes 30 days.
Richard asked, you mentioned a product in development to pull comps. Is there an ETA on the product or a way to check for progress?
Comparison value, yes. So it'll probably be realistically late 2017. It's what I referred to earlier as a third data set for licensed providers. It's going to happen. We're ironing out the last details right now.
Well, there goes the live event again. Just kidding. Blame it on Richard. Just kidding.
What if the event was called Just Jill? Would everybody still be excited about it? Because that would be fine with me.
No, because I could do it. See, here's the thing. It's okay. You're so funny.
What if it was just called Motivation by Jill?
You're so silly. You would be, look, the
Probably
last,
be twice as successful.
here's what's funny. The last live event, the live event that I did, a little meetup here, we kind of did that where my team and I did the whole event and you just kind of showed up anyway, didn't you? I mean, I handed you a script basically, and not a script, but talking points.
All kidding
So
aside, and I'm going on the record here, I am happy to do a live event. You
mm,
just tell me where to
I
go, and
know.
I will
I
do
just,
it.
that's the thing. Maybe it's me. It's me. I'm getting there. All right. So Mina asks, random question, but what motivates you guys? Oh, we drink heavily. Just kidding.
Is it?
I'm sorry.
How does that come in?
I'm just joking. What I can answer. Thank you. What motivates you guys to be so caring and helpful? Is it partly religious, humanitarianism, or a mixture of a bunch of things? Just curious because I really admire what you guys do. Do you want to go first?
Yeah. I am going to go first because I answered this question today.
I like this.
This
Thank
whole
you.
thing started. It was Jill's idea, by the way. She said we should start this thing called Land Academy to teach people all this stuff because we're getting all these questions anyway. And let's just do it to give back. And I said, I'm happy to help you with this, just like the live event. I'm happy to do this with you, but I'm not going to be that involved because we have this land thing going on over here, and it's fine, everything's fine. Let's just do it as a way to give back. The thing just imploded. We were
Mm-hmm.
meeting like an unmet demand. So now it's become a thing like I get juice out of helping people more than I do out of acquisitions. That's the truth. And every time we launch something like Parcel Fact or whatever else, people are lining up to thank us and say, I can fire my VA now. On and so that's what motivates me, Jill.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honest, you know what Jill and I talk about? We don't talk about the deals we're doing.
Mm-mm.
We talk about Sally. Remember
We talk about
Sally
you
who
all.
Yeah, that's what we do.
We're talking
We
about
say,
you.
"Did you hear about Sally? Who did you get that email from Sally who said she quit her job 2 months ago and she's killing it now? And her husband finally believes her
Mm-hmm.
that you can actually make money in real estate after the 3 failed houses that they tried to
Mm-hmm.
renovate."
Or so and so needs help with this. We got to solve this problem because
So
they're not alone.
that's why I do this.
Yeah.
Why do you do it?
You know what? Because I really believe, and I've learned that not the more you give, the more you get. I'm telling you. And so this is why I do this with our people. I mean, with my sellers, I really try to help them, and it indirectly good stuff happens. I swear. If I'm talking to a little lady who doesn't want to sell her property, I really seriously say, please, Mrs. Jones, I understand where you're at, and I think your time, and just promise me that you will put it in a trust or somehow put it in some kid's name just in case anything happens. I try to even help them in that way. So I'm just having so much fun. I mean,
Yeah, me too.
that's I think a lot of this is who you and I are. Um, I was always the kid that I got in trouble because I'd give away my lunch or my money or my toys. My mom's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Well, they obviously needed it more than I did." So,
I was a guy cracking the other kid over the head to steal his lunch money.
oh, that was you. No, you're so silly. But thank you for
I get a
asking.
big kick out of, especially these products, uh, like Land Crowdfund and Land Tank. Both of those, I can't wait to release those because on both sides, we have members and non-members who are dying to place money. They don't want to be a deal maker. They just want to place money. And then
Mm-hmm.
on the other side, we've got a bunch of deal makers, young, eager people that don't have a ton of money saved to do acquisitions. They're dying to meet. There's no effective way for everybody to meet. And I get a kick out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Facilitating success, I guess, is how you would say it.
Exactly. Thank you. I mean, I'm also asked, I've heard there's ways to disassociate liens from the property and directly associate it with the individual and not the property so that the liens are clear. Is this common practice? I don't think so. Well, you know what? Well, let me back up here. It depends on the situation. So a lot of our properties we're dealing with, there's no improvements. I mean, there's not a lot of lien activity when it's real vacant land. No one would lend money on it anyway because it's vacant land and there's nothing on it. Go ahead, Jack.
Here's a list of liens that could happen in no real order. A mortgage, that's a lien.
True.
A mechanic's lien, like a guy shows up to build a house and files a thing like he's supposed to, and he does some work and it doesn't get paid. An IRS lien, which is tied to the person, not the property, that never goes away. A healthcare lien, You go to the emergency room, a bunch of stuff happens. Now you owe them a bunch of money. They file a lien. So the lien reports will smoke all of those out. Some are attached to the property, like the mortgage, and not the person in some cases. And some are not. They're called personal guarantees. So you want to pull that lien report and figure it out. But I will tell you this. We've talked about liens now 4 times today. Of all the properties, almost 16,000 properties.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped pulling lien reports, I probably in like 2001, because I was concerned about this in the beginning too. I'm knocking on wood. I have never, ever had a lien come back.
Mm-hmm.
Not once.
Same here.
So I think in the beginning, it's good to know that it exists and to pull some property. And if you're doing infill lots, you should do that for sure, like urban infill lots. But for rural property, you're going to be fine in general.
Good question. Peter asks, follow up to the Redfin question. Is the 25 to 40% offer modified on infill lots and on micro mailers, or requires an A/B testing?
I'll answer this.
You got it.
Jill and I, when we buy houses and sell them wholesale, or when we do infill lots or Santa Barbara ranches or any of that stuff, she and I have a targeted dollar amount in mind. We don't do a percentage scenario. Here's an example. If we buy a house in Scottsdale, in one of the more slummy areas of Scottsdale, we make $10,000.
Slummy Scottsdale.
Believe it or not,
there are some areas.
Some slummy areas of Scottsdale.
It's hard to imagine, but
by the way, those are great flip areas because all the houses are run down.
I live in the slummy area of Scottsdale. Try that one.
We make 10 grand on it. On an infill lot, we try to make a little bit more, 10 grand. On a Santa Barbara branch, if you listen to our show, we try to make 100 grand. So I work backwards from that. And the guy that we sell it to makes some serious dough. Mm-hmm. So that's how that goes. You have to work backwards from the property that's listed. So if you use Santa Barbara, for example, properties listed, there are like-kind properties for 1.2 million, and they're just sitting on the market. So you want to buy a property for maybe $500,000 or $600,000 cash. You want to mark it up $100,000 and sell it to the person for $600,000 or $700,000, and now he's going to go sell it for $8 or $9 or $1 million, make more than you on every single deal, and take what it takes to sell it, meaning the cleanup or whatever else. And now so that's how you want to do it. You want to start with properties the lower priced properties that are on the market right now, and work your way backwards. Cool. It's not a percentage at all.
Thank you. Jared asks, I have 31 lots on a contract to sell. I sold 2 in this neighborhood for $10,000 a piece. Nice. An appraiser came back and priced the rest of the 31 lots at $115,000. The buyer's financing has slowed because of this. Yeah. Is there any way to shake up some sense into this guy?
Into the appraiser? No.
Yeah.
Here's a story.
Oh.
About appraisers.
Oh.
I bought 2 houses during the downturn in the exact same week for cash in Western Phoenix. At that time, we were buying houses for $20,000 that are now $180,000. And I bought them both for like 21 and 25. And I immediately, we didn't do anything to them except go in there and clean the trash out and stuff. And then, do you remember this?
I do remember this.
You're trying to forget it?
No, yeah,
as she says with venom.
Yeah, no, yeah. That was a slummy area, let me tell you.
One house we go, and they both sold them on FHA loans.
No, they weren't that bad.
FHA weird. Loans. So, which is 3%. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The appraiser comes in on the first one. We sell them for $60,000. I listed them for like 80. We sell them for 60. Right. Appraiser comes in on the first one, says yippee-ki-yay, totally appraises. They come in on the second one and say, your price is way off. The property's worth $22,000. Oh. Here's the problem. That appraisal, back then anyway, lawfully sticks for 6 months. So even if you drop the agent, drop it, the appraiser stays on file, so to speak. So you're kind of hosed. Yeah. That's a good question, Jared. And it sucks, man. And I'm sorry about it, but you're stuck with it. That's my understanding. I don't know. Somebody else might have a different answer. Yep.
This is an interesting one.
I just realized that Luke Smith is back.
I know.
What time is it?
I know. Well, while you're getting, okay. Jack's gonna unmute Luke, and so if he has a mic, he can get on the call with us. But I was going to take a moment real quick to tell everybody you're going to start seeing messages, if you haven't already, from Jen in our office, Jen with a G, who is now working with us, and she is going to be heading up offers to owners right now. So Jen's about to take all the mystery out of mail merge for you and make it easy and fun.
Yeah, so those of you who've been dealing with letter stream directly, we are now going to take that over entirely.
Yep.
And next week we'll provide you with an 800 number and an email, which is really support at offers to owners.
Jen put a little high in there.
And we're going to seriously step up how much we help you, because people have asked us over the last year, this mail merge thing is too complicated, or the data download's complicated. So we've hired an expert to help you deal with all of that stuff for the same price, or a couple of cents more per mailer. So it's all good.
We're working out some of those details right now this week. So we're going to start testing a little bit next week. So I may be reaching out to some select members here to have you guys do a couple run throughs with Jen, and then I'm going to open up the floodgates. Yeah. So watch your email. So,
Luke, are you with us?
Yeah. So can I just call this Jen girl up and say, mail this dollar amount to this area, or?
Yes.
Yeah, that's going to be exactly eventually coming. Yeah.
Say sort it like this, or this parameter, that parameter. Just,
you can't really abuse her. You can ask her to do reasonable stuff that's related to a mail merge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to do a variety of different levels, Luke.
Yeah.
So, because we're going to have it basically for our members who maybe don't need much help. They just need the mail merge done and some other little things, babysat as it gets out. We'll have it for the general public who don't have access to our data, but they want that zip code hit and they want a parameter of things. So we're going to open that up too.
Can I schedule her?
Yeah.
One a week?
She will have, you know what? Good questions. Cause she will have times where she will do personal, block off the calendar consulting and, and one-on-one stuff. So the answer is yes.
Exactly. Mail this area this week, that one next week, and that
one
for different sizes, just stagger them or.
Yeah.
As long as your credit card clears, Luke. I have an attorney. Here's what my lawyer said to me once. I will defend you to your last dollar.
Oh,
thanks.
I know exactly who said that. Yeah. So I love this question you have here, Luke. What happened there?
I forgot what I asked.
You said, do you ever have old buyers come back to you and ask to buy the land back?
I honestly can say I don't ever recall that.
I haven't either. I think that's awesome though.
I know, right? I'd surprise more people than change their mind or something. A lady called me back. She bought property, I don't know, a year and a half ago or something. And $1,000 10-acre property in Apache, and sold it for $3,500. Got trees and a road, and she's just super happy about it. And she doesn't think the property's big enough. She's got a bunch of dogs, and she wants a bigger property somewhere else. So she wants to buy another property from me. Not sure which one yet, but she wants me to buy that one back from her first. I'm like, well, she says, look at the market. The market's $5 to $10 grand on something like that right now. I'm like, yeah, it looks like it. I got you a really good deal. I'm sure you could sell it for more.
That's a good story.
But I might upsell and trade. Seriously.
I know.
If she was,
she doesn't have the property that she wants right yet for trade. I was trying to do the trade. Ended up just optioning it from her.
Good. That's good. That's what I was going to suggest.
It's I got so many deals in front of me. I'm gonna try to buy them first, and they're better prices than what she's talking about.
Bingo.
Good. Hey, Rod, on the offers to owners situation, piped in at the end here and said, will I no longer be able to do a self-service scenario? Will I no longer be able to search and download my own data from CoreLogic? No. So you'll all be able to download that. So we fully realize that there are data experts in this group that don't want anything to change. In that case, all you're going to do is email or submit the data pool that you've always been doing with the contract that you've always been using in
Mhm.
Word and Excel, and just submit it to Jen that way, and she'll submit it to Letterstream, and you'll still be able to go to Letterstream and look it all up. What we're depending, no matter where you are and your level of sophistication in this thing, we'll be able to service it. And the
Mhm.
prices aren't going to change.
Good question. That's a
Yeah.
great question, Rod. Yeah. So what you're doing right now today won't change, but for anybody else, we'll have all levels of
Yeah.
whatever you need.
We're just making it easier.
Mhm. Exactly.
Luke, how was Scandinavia? Where were you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we went to Stockholm and then over to Göteborg, like the western coast of Sweden, and stayed at a little island off the coast there. I figured that out. I've been to Sweden, I don't know, 7 or 8 times now, and like every time it's running around to visit my wife's side of the family. My wife's from Sweden, so we go visit people all over the place and childhood friends and things. But with kids, it's ridiculous just going all over the place. So we started figuring out just rent a big house or a big farmhouse or something and just invite everybody over. All the Swedes love to come visit and
Make them come to you.
barbecue and serve food and stuff like that. And they all just, yeah, they show up. The last time we did it, we had 2 houses next to each other and all the rooms were full, like rotating people coming and going and like tents in the lawn. It wasn't
awesome.
But,
it's like sending a mailer out. You make the sellers come to you.
Free booze.
That's awesome.
Case of alcohol. Everybody shows up. Yeah, one of the guys was saying his friend bought a farmhouse in northern Sweden, like on the North Baltic coast, for like $6,000, and it's like 6 hours north of Stockholm. You got to take a car, and a lot of these people don't have cars. They're like public transportation junkies. Bugs are, you got to whack them with a tennis racket, But it's on the coast or right next to the coast in one of these old, 100-year-old farmhouses, which are kind of young for over there. And people just want to leave the countryside and move to the city, so they don't want these things anymore. And the one next door has been for sale for years and years and years, and they just lowered the price down to basically $6,000, whatever the translated cost was.
Wow.
And just looking to get the same price as what the one next door sold for. I'm thinking,
I was to say, did you buy it?
I didn't. I was trying to figure out the paperwork and like how to do it and how to do the transaction. They don't value land because it's every man's right. You can walk across anybody's land and you can ride your horse across anyone's land, and the land is kind of like everyone's land, so it's not the same kind of ownership as you have here. You can fence it, but you have to have a place for people to be able to cross the fence or get over it or a gate or something to let people come and go. So it's big acreage, or acreage doesn't mean as much as it does here. But some of those old farmhouses, I'm sure I could market one of those farmhouses for more than $6,000.
Yeah,
did it right.
It just sounds fun.
I agree.
We'll try. I don't know how I'd answer the calls, but most of the Swedes speak English. Just switching real quick.
I wish I was having as much fun as your kids are.
I know. I like whatever's going on back there.
I don't laugh that hard.
They're chasing the chicken around. I love it. Thank you, Mina. I would say I'm going to wrap up these few questions here. I appreciate that about that myfirstam.com. I've not looked at that, but this would be a great thing to some of this, like this stuff. I'm started chatting it, started forming this in landinvestors.com about other tools and resources that you're finding. That's a great place that we can all benefit. So thank you. And you're welcome, Chuck. So thank you. Rod needs a title company. What should be the first conversation with the title company? What should I be listening for from them? What are the red flags?
Here's what I say. And then Luke can answer it too after. I ask him, what do you charge? And I'm buying a piece of rural vacant land that has no debt on it. There's no lender. It's a cash deal. And the person's owned it for 30 years. It's the easiest transaction easiest American real estate transaction on the planet. So how much is it going to cost and how long do you think it's going to take to close? And then the last question I ask is, how many deals are you guys doing right now in your office? If you're doing 442 deals this month, I'm clearly not going to get to mine. So can you put mine at the top of the stack because it's the easiest? That's really the conversation I have. What do you ask, Luke?
Yeah, I also asked for you told me to ask for the investor's rate.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So they usually have investors rate, which I've heard is one place I was just talking to is like 40% off the sticker rate. And who are you running this through? So some of the companies, like a Pioneer Title or whoever, they'll say they're running the first $100,000, the 100,000 and below deals through First American, and then above that they're going through like Old Republic or who's their back end? Who are they running these things through? And do they have like kind of guidelines of what? Because you're doing some deals in the lower end, and all of a sudden you do a bigger deal through them. It's totally different paperwork, different rules, different process, everything. Because they start using different title company or different title insurer. And I ask them what the steps are because it's so frustrating for me. Maybe I don't get it, but the steps of, what's the paperwork? Like, okay, we do this and then what? We do this and then what? I like to ask them about those steps. If they can plan ahead and tell me what I'm looking forward to or what I'm going to be doing.
The boys
Kids
are
are
actually
sorry.
in the fish tank.
It's good. I think I heard a boy is in a fish tank.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, that's awesome. This is a good one for you, Jack. Jared asks, Jared, you're right, by the way. How many members does Lien Academy have? It seems like there's so many more than the 223 that the site says.
There's 248, and the site should reflect that. If it doesn't, the number's wrong.
No. We can get Pavon
I'll
on that.
change it right now.
I had like 500 subscribers on YouTube. That's growing. That's nice to see.
I know, like every day that's growing.
And just in landinvestors.com, that's a lot.
I mean, let me clarify. We have like 248, I think the last time I checked. I think somebody checked out yesterday, so it might be 249, but 2 to 5 people peel off every month for whatever reason. So it's right around the 250 mark, ballpark. But that's the silver level members. The green level members, we have like the free level. It's like 1,500.
Just doing all kinds of stuff. Yeah. Exactly.
But they don't have access to the data and all that stuff.
Yeah. Nice. Jared says we will own it all soon.
There's 149 million properties in this country. Doesn't that seem like a staggeringly low number? Wouldn't you think there's more, Jill?
It
just seems low,
but it doesn't. Well, you know what though? Well, let's just say we recorded a show. Well, let me tell you something. We recorded a show with a guy today who was telling us about a
planning and zoning expert.
Yes, that's what he does. He's been working in California and Texas. It's going to be a great show. It's going to air like in 10 days or something. Yeah. Anyway, he was telling about a deal that they just got through. It took 2.5 years, but here in Southern California, and on an acre and a half, they put 12 units. So, I mean, we see an acre and a half as 1 APN. It's 12.
Right.
He just created 12.
Right.
So that number of properties is kind of going up.
So tax revenue base on that has got to be fantastic, which is why I don't understand why subdividing isn't more popular.
So that's a really good show, and we're going to have him around more, so it's good. Yeah. Peter asks, are water and electric ever counted as improvements in RealQuest? And is there any way to identify lots on RealQuest that have water and electric on site?
So all the assessors on the planet look at this differently. Every county does it differently. Water and electric can be counted as an improvement in some urban counties, as are roads. So technically a property, in my opinion, a piece of land that has a road to it and water and sewer and stuff, that's improved property. And the bank looks at it like that too. But does the assessor record it that way and reassess it? Probably in urban counties, not in rural ones. They're just not, they don't have the staff to do it. So is there a way to identify lots of requests? No, not at all. The only way to do that I know of, unless Luke's got something else, or Jill, is a lot of times you'll get a utility map from a county and it'll show you where all the water lines and the sewer lines and the electric lines are.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But that's like LA County. You're not going to get it in Mojave County, Arizona.
I'm never looking at that till I'm after when I'm doing my due diligence
Yeah.
after they got back to me. Then
Right.
I'm definitely looking
You know
at
what the
that.
good indicator for that is if there's properties around it.
Mhm.
If we get a property back and you pull it up on Parcel Fact and you can see properties all over. I just looked at one with like 9 properties like that. It's incredibly clear that there's utilities everywhere.
Mhm.
What if Luke Smith was your dad and you just got the lecture that the kids just got?
Whatever it was, it got quiet.
the boys stuck each other in the fish tank.
Telling them it's not nice to tattle.
I agree.
My kids learn the F word from their father.
Hello. Hello. All right, we got to title this show real quick because we're at the end. So please put in the chat. This is what we used to do at the beginning. So remember that guy? His name was Jeff. And he obviously is doing well because I don't know where he went.
Yeah.
So, but Jeff always had like the best one-liners and these funny little titles. So if we have a silly, funny, I'm sure Carrie and Rowdy can come up with something. It's not nice to tap there. Look, just as I'm saying it. Thank you, Kyria. You read my mind. I like that. All right. You want to close with that?
Yeah, that's perfect.
That's our title of our show today. Oh, wait. Dave says, all the software you want without the face-to-face.
Without the talking.
Oh.
One of the shows back then was called.
Oh, my cheeks hurt.
Was somebody named a show back then called Luke, You're My Father.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
I'm your father, Luke. That's what it was.
Right. Oh, that's so good.
Luke Smith, good to have you back. We'll have you on the show with more airtime next week.
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks all. We'll be here at the same time Thursday. This Zoom number is exactly the same.
Have a great week.
Bye.